everyone, and welcome. I have 5 Valentine Day wreaths for you today. I have a great mix from quick and easy to extravagant and stunning. I have a beaded wreath, some deco mesh wreaths, and even a gorgeous tree swag that is absolutely stunning. Let me show you how to make them. You're going to need one of these wood bead heart wreaths that you can pick up at Dollar Tree. You're also going to need a package of their arrows that you can pick up in their crafter square section. And we're going to be using the white arrow today. Now to attach our arrow here to our beaded heart, I'm going to be using some floral wire, and I'm going to be using the silver because this will blend in the best. You just need to decide where you want to place it. I like it right about there. Then I'm just going to cut myself a couple short pieces of the floral wire here. Now to hold that in place while I wire it on, I am going to hit it with some hot glue. For your convenience, in the description box below is a detailed list of all the tools and materials I used to complete each project. This list will not only tell you how much you're going to need, it'll also let you know where I purchased the materials. And now I'm just going to take a piece of the floral wire, wrap it around the arrow and the beaded wreath frame, give a couple twists. Trim and tuck my ends. You want to do that to both sides. My arrow is fully secure. It's not going to go anywhere. Now I want to add a hanger here to the top, and I found that it's best if you attach them at the peak of either side of the heart. I'm just going to use a piece of jute cord and tie it on. Decide how long I want it and then tie it off on the other side. Trim your ends and hit them with a little dab of hot glue so that they don't pull through. You're going to need some ribbon. All of these are 5/8 of an inch. This is a red and white check. This one actually came out of the Christmas section. It was left over. And this is their regular off-white lace ribbon that you can get. And then this one came out of the Valentine's Day section, and it says, "I picked you," red print on a burlap background. You will need at least 3 5/8 of an inch ribbons for this. You can choose whichever color tones you want to use. You will need to cut 3 pieces at 6 inches of each ribbon. So I have my ribbon cut. On my lace ribbon, I left my ends just cut blunt, but on these two, I went in and cut my ribbon at an angle. I like that better. I just don't want my lace ribbon to unravel at all on the ends, so that's why I left it blunt. You'll also need a piece of floral wire. Now we're going to do what I call my messy bow, and it's very simple. Just slowly work your way through and stack out your ribbon. Once you have it all stacked, pinch it in the center and tie it off with your floral wire. And that's what your little messy bow should look like. And you want to leave the floral wire here on the back. That's what you're going to use to attach it here to the wreath. And I'm going to be putting it right up here. Just take the floral wire and wrap it around the area that you want to place it. Pull your floral wire to the back, twist it down, trim it, and tuck your ends. I have my messy bow on. You just want to make sure that your words, if you've chosen a ribbon that has words on it, are facing the right direction so that you can read them. And then once you get it placed and you're happy with it, just tack it down with a little bit of hot glue so it doesn't move. And then for right here in the center, I have this really cute little red heart. Now these come in a package in the Valentine's Day section, and you get several in a bag, and they come in several different sizes and colors. I also pulled out a red love. Now this also comes in a package. You get multiples and they come in neutral, pink, and red. And this little guy I'm going to hot glue right here onto the arrow. And there you go, we're all done with this project. I think it came out absolutely adorable, and it's perfect if you like farmhouse. Of course, if you wanted to add more color, you can. You can either paint the arrow or you can paint the beads on the wreath. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. To get started on today's video, you're going to need a 14-inch working wreath form. If you've not seen me put one of these together, there is a link in the description box below that'll take you to a short video that will show you how to do it. You're also going to need some decorative mesh, and this is 10 inches at 30 feet. This is the jute colored snowball mesh that you can get from Joann's. You can also find this mesh at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And I only pick up my mesh at those stores when I can get it for 50% off. This is regularly $9.99, so 50% off was about $5. You will need one roll of 10-inch by 30 feet. And then I'm also going to sneak in, I have about half a roll of just the plain jute colored mesh at 10 inches. I'm also going to use up what I have left here to help fill in the wreath, but you can make the base here with just one roll. I have my mesh opened. We're going to start on the inner ring, and we're going to do the poof method first. So just grab your ends and scrunch them together. Place them in the first pipe cleaner on the inner ring and give a good twist or two to get it nice and secure. Then we're going to be measuring our poofs at 8 inches. So you measure to 8 inches and you start measuring from where you have it attached. You go to 8 inches and pinch, and then where you pinched you place into the next pipe cleaner. And you just keep doing that and work your way around the wreath. If you're enjoying today's content, make sure to subscribe, and when the notification bell pops up, if you hit that too, YouTube will let you know every time I upload new content. And I do upload new content to my channel every week. I've gone all the way around the inside, and now I'm going to drop down to the outside, and that's really simple. You just go from the pipe cleaner on top, pull it to the one directly below, give a good twist twist, and then continue around the outside, measuring your poofs at 8 inches. I've gone all the way around the inside and the outside. Next step, you just need to go through and open up your poofs to make your base as full as possible. I've gone through and opened up all my poofs, so you can go ahead and set this aside. Now I have my leftover mesh rolled out here. So I have the mesh that I used for the bubble method on the base, and then I have what I had left over from another roll of just the plain jute cord. Now you want to cut the rest of your roll into strips of 15 inches. If I'm cutting more than one mesh roll, I like to layer them. It just makes it easier and quicker work. I have all of my mesh cut, and now we're going to work on cutting the ribbon. I have 2 rolls here of the pink burlap ribbon that you can get from Dollar Tree. This comes from their Floral Garden. This is 2 inches at 9 feet. You will need 2 full rolls. And then I picked up this really pretty burlap type ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and it has these really pretty pink roses on it. This is 2.5 inches at 6 yards. You will need 1 full roll of this ribbon as well. You'll want to cut your ribbon into strips at 12 inches, and you will need 18 pieces of each ribbon. I'm going to be using my bow dabber today to help me hold my bundles. Now, depending on how many cuts you were able to get off of your mesh will determine how many cruffles you put in each section. So for the amount of cuts that I got, I'm going to be putting 1 of each color on the inner ring for each pipe cleaner along with the ribbon. But then on the outer ring, I'm going to alternate between the 2. I'll put 1 with the snowballs, and then the next one will be 1 that's plain. That way my mesh will evenly be distributed throughout the wreath. So for my center ring, we're going to be putting 1 cruffle of each color and 1 of each ribbon. Now to do a cruffle, you want to lay out your piece of mesh that's cut at 15 inches. You start at one end and you want to get 1 to 2 good rolls in. Pinch. Twist to the other side. Do the same thing on the other side, 1 to 2 good rolls. And then crunch in the middle all the way across to the other side and pinch. And that is your cruffle. So I'm going to put the neutral one on the bottom, and then the mesh that has the little snowballs here will go on top. So I'll show you again. Start at one end, get 1 to 2 rolls in, clip. Do the same thing on the other side. Scrunch in the center all the way across. And then I'm also going to add 1 piece of each ribbon, and my ribbon is cut at 12 inches, and I did dovetail each of my ribbons. So I just find the center, scrunch, and add that to your bundle. I love those 2 ribbons together. I think they look so pretty. Then you just go to your next spot here with your pipe cleaners. Pick up your bundle and place it inside. Pull nice and tight and give a good twist. You'll want to twist it down a couple times. And then trim your pipe cleaners. I leave about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And then make sure to tuck those down. And you just want to lift up your ribbon and kind of pull it towards the outside of the wreath. We'll do further adjusting once we get everything on. I'm going to go through and get all my bundles on the inner ring finished, and then I'll come back and show you the outer ring. I have all of my bundles added to the inner ring, and now I'm working on adding them to the outer ring here. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing every other. So one will have the snowball, one will have without the snowball, the next one will have the snowball. So I'm just going back and forth between the two mesh that I'm using, and I'm still putting the two ribbons in both. So on this one I have a single curl and it's the plain mesh. And then the next one I will do will be the mesh that has the snowball on it, and I'll just do a single one. And that's what I've been doing around the outside. That way I have at least enough mesh to get one cruffle in every pipe cleaner. I have my base all done and I'm really happy with the result. Absolutely gorgeous, very thick and full. I love those two ribbons together on that neutral background. Very, very pretty. To prepare our sign to go onto our wreath, I glued on 4 pipe cleaners here on the back. Now the original hanger for the sign was just stapled onto the back here, and this sign isn't that thick. So I decided to go ahead and just hot glue the pipe cleaners on. Normally I like to do a combination of hot gluing on the pipe cleaners and floral wire to make sure that the sign doesn't fall off. But I don't have that option since this sign doesn't have any holes in it. So I just made sure that I got a good amount of glue down there and my pipe cleaners are well secured. As you can see, we have a nice open space right here in the center, and that's right where our sign is going to go. I think that's absolutely gorgeous. Let me move out a little bit here so you can get a better look. There you go. Oh, I think that's so cute. Now to get the sign attached, you just take your pipe cleaners here, you separate the mesh until you can get down to the wire frame in the back, and then you attach it to the wire frame. When you initially put it on, don't tighten it down until you got it right exactly where you want it, and then you can tighten down the position. And there you go, I'm all done. My truck sign is nice and secure. It's not going to go anywhere. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous with the ribbons that I've chosen. I think they complement my pink truck very well. And we're going to be using one of the long signs. Love the journey. I also really like this sign, and I love how they did the background. You will also need some plastic canvas. Now I have 4 pieces here. The 2 larger pieces are cut 3 inches by 6.5 inches. And the 2 smaller pieces are cut 3 inches by 5.5 inches. We're going to be attaching this to the back of the sign so that we can then attach our deco mesh and our ribbon. So I have 2 pieces that are for both ends. And then one will go here and one will go here. Okay. So we'll start at one end. Let me see where I'm at. Let's start at this end. I'm going to get the top piece here glued on first. And I cut this at 3 inches because I want 1 inch to be glued down to the board. And I'm going to use a combination of Aleene's Original Tacky Glue and hot glue. And then this one I'm going to place right here. You want to make sure you come all the way up so that you have the full corner. So when you place it, you need to match up the holes so that you can get the deco mesh attached. The reason why I'm mixing hot glue and Aleene's Original Tacky Glue is that once Aleene's Original Tacky Glue fully sets up, it is weather resistant. So if this is put outside on someone's front door, I don't have to worry that my plastic canvas is going to fall off. The hot glue will hold it on while the Aleene's fully sets up, allowing me to continue to work on my project. This is a 100% silicone tool. You will need to use something when you're attaching this so that you do not burn yourself. You can pick this up at Dollar Tree over in the kitchen area. Any brand, as long as it's 100% silicone, will work. You want to do the same thing to the opposite side, except this section will be on the opposite side. You're going to need some mesh and some pipe cleaners or chenille stems cut in half. I have a roll of red deco mesh with red metallic stripes. And then I have white deco mesh that has red metallic stripes in it as well. You want to cut your mesh into strips of 15 inches. I have my mesh cut. Now normally I would cut this a little shorter, maybe more like 12 inches, but because I'm working with Dollar Tree mesh and it tends to fray a lot, I want to make sure I get a good curl on either end because we're going to be doing the cruffle method. I'm going to start at one end, get at least 2 good rolls in there, then I like to clip mine, do the same thing to the other end, and then scrunch down the center, pinch, wrap your pipe cleaner around, pull it to the back, pinch right at the base and give a good twist. And that's your cruffle. You will need 2 rolls of each color for a total of 4 rolls of deco mesh for this project. I have all of my bundles made and now we're going to start to attach it here to our sign. We're going to be using the pipe cleaners. Now our plastic canvas has holes in it, which is good. You'll want to get the plastic canvas that has the largest holes that's available in the store that you go to. Now you can find the plastic canvas at pretty much any craft store. Walmart carries it. I know Joann's and Michael's carries it, so there's a lot of places that you can find it. It'll take about 6 bundles across the bottom and about 6 bundles up the side, and then you'll want to do 2 to 3 deep, depending on how thick and full you want it. It should take 1 of each color to do the top section and 1 of each color to do the bottom section. Now when you start to place your bundles, you want to place them like about 2 of the holes in and about 3 to 4 holes apart. Okay, so I have them pulled through there. So right there I have about 3 little holes in between, and I'm in the 3rd hole away from the edge. You don't want to get too close to the edge because you can break these if you pull too tight. Give a couple good twists and then trim down your pipe cleaners and then fold them down. Then you just want to alternate between the red and the white, and then you'll move, I'd say probably about a 1/2 inch, 2 to 3 rows over and go again. And as you fill that in, that'll get nice, thick and full, and we'll fill in this whole corner. Continue to add your mesh until the area is filled in. I have all my mesh attached both here at the top and here at the bottom, and I'm really happy with how it's looking. Here on the back you can see how I attached it. I did about 6 across and about 6 up. And then on the side here I did about 2 deep, and on the bottom I did about 3 deep. I did that same configuration here at the top. I'm very happy with how that looks. Let's work on the bow now. I pulled out these 2 ribbons from Dollar Tree. They both came from the Valentine's Day section, 2.5 inches at 9 feet. So we have our red and white check and this really pretty red background with the pink and white hearts on it. I thought both of these would look really pretty with the sign. You'll want to cut in your check ribbon 1 piece at 8 inches and 2 pieces at 15 inches. In your heart ribbon, you'll want to cut 1 piece at 8 inches and 2 pieces at 12 inches, and then in 1 more piece at 3 inches. I have my ribbon cut. The 2 pieces that are cut at 8 inches are going to be your tails. So you'll want to go ahead and dovetail those on both ribbon. We'll start here. Take each piece of the 15-inch ribbon. You want to fold it over itself by about 1 inch. Press down and find the center. Add a little dab of hot glue to hold it in position on either side. You also need half a pipe cleaner. And with the cut side here down, you want to scrunch into the center, pinch. Do the same thing with the other piece. Then you want to put one on top of the other, so they're like side by side. Then take your 8-inch piece for the tails, find the center, scrunch that, place that in the back. Take your pipe cleaner and wrap it around the center, pull it to the back, get it nice and tight, and give it a good twist. Just open up your loops and pull down your tails. That's approximately what your bow should look like. You'll want to do the same thing with the other ribbon. And then I'll show you what to do with the smaller piece here. Just like that. Now you want to open up your pipe cleaners here in the back. We're going to cover the center here with our small piece. Now we're going to take our bow here with our hearts and we're going to stack that on top of our other bow. And we're just going to tie it to the other bow by using the pipe cleaners here. Just wrap it around the center and pull it to the back. I think that's really cute. I'll do my final adjusting with the bows once I get them on. You will need to make 2 just like this. Now I want to place a bow up in this corner and one also in the bottom in the corner. And to attach those, you just take the pipe cleaners, you open up the mesh, feed it down to the back and attach it to the plastic canvas in the back wherever you need to get it to sit where you want. Then just twist down your ends and tuck or trim whatever you need to. I have my bows on. That's the one on the top. And I have this one on the bottom. I'm very happy with their placement. I think they look great. I picked up this package from Dollar Tree over in the Valentine's Day section. It's an 8-piece DIY pin set. Now these little hearts are wood and I like that they're already stacked. So you have the red and the pink and the pink and the red. I really like that. Now they already come on these little pins, but I don't want to use those, so I'm going to try to remove them. Let's see if I can do that. Yep, okay, so they do pop off. So I'm going to remove all of those and then I'm going to be gluing these onto my mesh to add that final touch to my wreath. I have my embellishments glued in and I'm really happy. I think they made the final perfect touch. Now I did add just 2 here of the wood cut out pink hearts and 2 of the red ones. A pink and a red at the top and then a pink and a red here at the bottom. I didn't have quite enough of the little heart pins there, but now I'm really happy. Here on the back I've glued down a piece of jute cord to hang it and then I covered that with some ribbon to make sure that this doesn't come loose. Now this part is really kind of rough and it might scratch your door, so we're going to cover this with some felt. And I have some heavy duty craft felt. Now this is much thicker than the felt that you would find at Dollar Tree. You can use the one at Dollar Tree, but you will notice it's very thin and you may have to go over it twice. So I have cut 2 pieces here to fit over the back to cover that up. And then here on this side where it will cover where my jute cord is, I cut a little piece. And then this side it's going to come up in between the 2 pieces. So you want to make sure that that still comes up so you can hang your piece. I'm going to start on this side. And then just run a bead of hot glue all the way around the edge of your spacing and lay down your felt. And that covers everything up nicely, and then nothing will scratch the back of your door. I've already done it to the bottom here. And there you go, we are all done. I'm really happy with the end result. I really like working with the plastic canvas. It did exactly what I needed it to do. It gave me the area that I wanted to add the deco mesh to the sign. I love that stuff. You can use it in any shape or form to add deco mesh to any sign. For today's project, you're going to need 3 of the new Valentine trees that you can pick up at Dollar Tree. I really do like these. They are pink on the top and their base is white. When you take them out of the package, this is what they look like. This little white part down here for the stand, you want to go ahead and unscrew that. We won't be needing that. And once you take that off, the base here is wrapped with this pink material. You want to make sure to glue that down, otherwise it will become unraveled on you. Just a little dab of hot glue will work. That way you don't have to worry about that unraveling. We won't be using the base here, so you can discard that. You'll want to open up your tree, and you want it to be flat on one side. So I start here at the base and just start opening them and pulling them to the side. Just try to make sure you get even pull on both sides as best you can. Okay, so you want to get all 3 of your trees open, and they all need to be flat on one side. So I've opened up the other 2 trees, and now we're going to start to stack them. So the first one, go ahead and lay on top of the other. And I found if you take the stem here and place it right about here, that's about the correct height. You're also going to need some zip ties, preferably in white. And then you just want to zip tie the 2 trees together. So I have my first 2 trees together. Now we're going to place the third one. And place it about the same distance apart. So you'll start where your first branch is there on your tree start. So I used 2 zip ties to attach the top 2 trees and 2 zip ties to attach the bottom 2 trees. For your convenience, in the description box below is a detailed list of all the tools and materials I used to create this beautiful Valentine's Day swag. Now I like that it looks nice and full. So now I can do some adjusting here with the tree and kind of fluff it out a little bit more. This feels a little loose, so I'm going to add 1 more zip tie. Now here on the sides, you can see the change right here. So a couple of these I'm going to nip just a little bit so that that shape stays. Now this tip is too long for me, so I'm going to snip this as well. And then I'm just going to take that piece and wrap it around the center somewhere just to add it back. I am all nice and fluffed out. I like the shape. If you need to do kind of bend the ends to get them to look correct, do that. It kind of looks a little bit more natural even though it is pink if they kind of bend down. Very nice. I like that a lot. To decorate our swag, I found these really pretty picks. These are brand new this year at Dollar Tree. They have these two to choose from and they come in red or a pink color. I have two of these that are open in the center and one that is not. I also have these decent sized puffy hearts I found in my stash. Dollar Tree does have the heart picks. They're a little bit smaller than these hearts, but those will work. And then I also have the little puffy heart table scatter. I'm going to be using some of these as well. To prep your picks, just simply cut them down. You only need a stem of about 1.5 to 2 inches. Just make sure that those stems or the little sticks there are well glued in. You don't want to lose your embellishment. If they're loose, just add a little bit of extra hot glue around the base. Now this is the top of your swag. Keep that in mind when you're adding your embellishments. I just kind of like to go through and kind of stick them in, see where I like them and how much of them I want to show. Try to keep things relatively even on either side. Okay, so that's about the placement that I want to go. I am going to be putting a large bow up here that will help hide this part. I'm also going to be attaching the hanger here to the end. So I'm not worried about this, that I will cover later. But I do like that, so I'm going to work on gluing in some of these items. And on the picks here, just add the hot glue to the stem and then nestle it in. On the little puffy hearts, just add the glue to the back. When you place these, you just need to make sure that you get good contact so that the glue will hold it in place. And you can always adjust your wreath a little bit around your pieces once you get them in. Okay, I'm going to get these pieces glued in. I have my large picks glued in and my large hearts. I didn't put in any of the small ones yet. I always like to put the small ones in last. They kind of help me fill in my spaces. I decided I did want to add a little bit of white, and I found this bouquet. I had it in my stash. I picked it up at Dollar Tree probably last year. And these just pop right off. I think the white hearts really stand out on the swag, and they'll also match the ribbon that I've chosen to use. In addition to these white hearts, I have also pulled out some of these little wood icons that you can get. They come in bags. You get several in a bag. They do come in natural pink and red. So I pulled out two in pink that say love. And then I also pulled out a couple lips. I thought that would be really cute to also add. So just play with your placement till you find where you like them and then hot glue them into place. So I have everything glued in. I have my large heart picks, I have some of the table scatter, my white hearts, and then my little wood icons. Now I'm really happy with how this looks, but for me it feels like it's still missing something. So I pulled this stem of roses out. They come from Dollar Tree from their floral garden section, and I really like them. They're small and dainty. So I'm going in and trimming them into small little pieces. So I'm cutting each small little flower and also some small pieces of the greenery. I'm going to be working these into my wreath form here. Add a small amount of glue and feed it in. I'm going to do more than one piece, maybe one with a floral on it, and then maybe a piece or two of greenery next to it. Now see, I really like that. I think it adds a lot and it kind of breaks everything up. So I'm going to trim up my pieces and add them to my swag. I have all my little roses glued in and I'm very happy with my swag now. I really like that. It added that contrasting color that I needed to bring out all of the elements. I'm very happy with that. Now here on the back, all I did was take a full-length pipe cleaner, wrap it around and tie it on to the back here. This is what I'm going to use to hang it. And this bottom part of my tree I will cover up with my bow, which we're going to do right now. For our bow, I pulled out these two ribbons that I picked up from Dollar Tree. Now this one I got from Dollar Tree last year in their Valentine's Day section. And this one I picked up this year that was left over from Christmas, so this one only cost me 50 cents. But look at how pretty that ribbon is. I really like it. I think it's going to be gorgeous. We're going to be using the Easy Bow Maker today. I really like using this. I have arthritis in my hands and it makes it hard for me to hold everything when I make my bows. I'm going to start with this really pretty satiny ribbon and I'm going to measure my tail at about 9 inches. Now this ribbon is nice on both sides, so I do not have to twist as I come through. I'm going to be measuring my loops at 5 inches and I'm going to be doing 3 loops on either side at 5 inches. Now I'm going to go to this really pretty white with the red heart ribbon and I'm going to measure my tails at 8 inches on this one. Now this one is only nice on one side, so when you come through you need to twist. On your tails you want the nice side of the ribbon to be facing up, but as you make your loops for your bow, the nice side needs to be facing down. I'm going to measure my loops at 4 inches and I'm going to make 3 loops on either side. I'm really liking those two ribbons together. I have this much left, which is about 16 inches of the red ribbon. You want to take that and fold it over itself by about an inch. Push down and find the center. Turn it over so that the cut end is on the back side. Scrunch and add to the center. And then out of this ribbon, I want one loop there for the very center. So I figure out how big I want my loop. Trim it. Then you're going to add that to the center as well. Now when we pull this up, it will hide these little ends, so I'm not worried about that. You also need one full-length pipe cleaner. Slide this down on one side underneath the ribbon till you get to the dowel rods. Push everything down, pull together, and then pinch so it's nice and secure. Then you can lift it out. This will help keep it nice and stacked. Pull the pipe cleaner around to the back. Pull nice and snug and give a twist. Then just go in and open up your loops and fluff out your bow. Make sure everything is laying the way that you want it to. If you have any issues with getting it to lay how you want it, you want to go right down to where it comes out and adjust it there. If you need to twist it, whatever. That way you'll be able to get it to lay the way you want it to. So that's approximately what your bow will look like. I will finish adjusting my bow and trim my tails once I get it onto my swag. To attach your bow, you want to attach it right up here, and you just take your pipe cleaners. You want to make sure to move the hanger that you attached out of the way. Just pull your pipe cleaners around the bar there and give it a good twist or two. Wrap it around one more time and pull it to the back and twist. And just adjust your bow and trim your tails however long you would like them. And there you go, we are all finished. I got my bow attached and I'm very pleased. I really like those two colors together. I think they look gorgeous. And here on my swag, I'm really happy that I decided to go in and to add those little roses and the bits of greenery. That contrasting color really helps the other embellishments on my swag pop out. To get started on today's project, you're going to need an 18-inch wreath form that you can get from Dollar Tree. Now, if you can't find the 18-inch wreath form, of course, you can use a 14-inch wreath form. The reason why I've chosen the 18-inch wreath form is because of the size of the sign that I'm using today. When I saw this at Dollar Tree, I absolutely fell in love. You're also going to need some deco mesh from Dollar Tree. You'll need 4 rolls of each color, 4 white, red, and pink. You're also going to need a package of pipe cleaners cut in half. So I have my mesh opened and I have one roll of each color. We're going to be doing the poof or bubble method. Now normally you see this method done with 10-inch or 21-inch mesh. This is how I figured out how to use the 6-inch mesh from Dollar Tree. You can use 2 rolls at a time or 3, and since I'm doing 3 colors, we're going to be doing 3. You want to take the ends of each of the rolls and scrunch them together. Now you really don't want to have them layered. It'll make it harder for you after you get it on your wreath form to separate out your poofs. Pull all 3 together side by side. Get a pipe cleaner on there or chenille stem and give a good twist. You want to get those ends nice and secure. Then you're going to push down from the front to the back and attach it right onto one of the crossbars here. Give a twist or 2, and then go ahead and push those pipe cleaners back to the back side. Wrap it around those ends again and give another twist. Now you can trim down the ends here, but you want to leave about 1 inch. You don't want that deco mesh to pull back through. And then I just take my ends and push it forward. Once you're done, you will not be able to see those ends on your pipe cleaners, and it will make it nicer. On the back side, it'll look much cleaner. So my ends are nice and attached. We're going to be measuring our poofs at 8 inches today. You'll want to start measuring where you attached it here on your wreath form. Loosely grab all 3 of them and measure out to 8 inches. Pinch. Take a pipe cleaner and wrap it around and secure it to the mesh. And then you'll be attaching it to the center bar here. Feed your pipe cleaner to either side, pull it to the back and give a twist or 2. Now because I'm only attaching it to a single bar, I'm going to trim down my pipe cleaners a little bit and then push those forward. Simply push over the poof and then you measure again. And then slide over. Now you just want to continue doing that all the way around your wreath. And this wreath has 8 sections, and a section is in between the 2 crossbars. Now you will place between 8 to 10 poofs per section, and this wreath should take a total of 12 rolls, so 4 rolls of each color. If you're only doing 2 colors, then you can get away with using 8 rolls, 4 of the 2 colors. Okay, I'm going to continue to work on this and get some sections done, and then I'll come back and show you what it's looking like. I have my first 3 rolls of deco mesh attached, and the 3 rolls should cover 2 sections on your wreath. If you're only using 2 colors, it should still cover 2 sections of your wreath. Once you get it on, you need to go back and open up your poofs and separate them. Because if you leave them together like this, you're not going to see all the individual colors. So just go in and pull apart each of the colors so that they're separated. I usually pull 1 to each side and then 1 up in the center. That way you can see each of the colors, and then you just need to change it up so that not all the pink are on the inside So like on this next one, pull the white to one side, the red to one side, and the pink in the middle. But look at how nice, thick, and full that is. And there is no fraying because you're not cutting the mesh. One of my favorite methods for using Dollar Tree mesh. I am all finished with the base. I'm very pleased with the end result. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. I really love the mix of all those colors, and I love the smooth but textured look that the bubble or poof method gives. Now, because we're working with Dollar Tree mesh, even though we didn't cut it, sometimes on the edge here you will get some fraying. So if you see any weird pieces, just snip them off. I usually do that as I'm going through and fluffing out my wreath. But as you can see, for the most part, you get very little to no fraying with this method. And what a nice, thick, beautiful base. To attach your sign, you're going to need 2 full-length pipe cleaners and some floral wire. I do prefer the silver. I picked this up from Dollar Tree. It's 26 gauge and you get 100 feet. I absolutely fell in love with this sign when I saw it, and I was so happy that I found it on my first trip to Dollar Tree when they were putting out Valentines. So to get this ready, you want to take the jute cord out, and then here in the 2 holes at the top, you want to string your floral wire, 1 through the hole, 1 over the top, and twist it in the back, and leave it long enough so that you can attach it to your wreath. And then here at the bottom, to make sure that my sign sits where I want it to and it stays steady, I've glued on 2 full-length pipe cleaners in either corner. If this wreath goes outside, I don't have to worry about my sign falling off because I have used the floral wire. If all I did was hot glue on pipe cleaners and this wreath goes outside, if it gets too hot or too cold or too moist, the hot glue can fail and your sign will fall off. Now, I really do like to place my signs right up on the top of my wreath. They really stand out that way, and they're usually my focal point. For this one, I want it to be just a little bit lower than center because I'm going to put a nice big bow up at the top here, so that's going to take up a lot of space. Now, to attach your sign, all you need to do is take your floral wire and your pipe cleaners, separate your mesh until you can get down to the wire form in the back, and then attach it to the wire form. You can attach it anywhere on the wire form that you need to get your sign to sit where you need it to. Once you've got it attached and you're happy with its placement, tighten it down, trim, and tuck your ends. I have my sign on. It's nice and sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. And as you can see, it's just slightly below center, so I have a little bit more room up here for my bow. We're going to work on the bow now. So I pulled this ribbon out. I think it's really pretty. I like the black and white stripe. I think it'll pull out the black accents in the sign really well. And this is 2.5 inches at 12 feet. I also have this really pretty white ribbon. Now, I like this ribbon. I've used it a lot. And this is 1.5 inches at 10 yards. Those 2 ribbons I did not get from Dollar Tree. And then this one I got from Dollar Tree, and they have it this year. I think it's really pretty. This is their 2.5 inch Valentine's Day ribbon. And then this year I also found this one, which I think is really pretty. It is just a cut out of hearts. And I like this one as well, white with red hearts on it. And this one is 5/8 of an inch at 3 yards. And this one is also 3 yards. I'm going to be using my Easy Bow Maker today. Let me get you a little bit closer here. I like to use my Easy Bow Maker because I do have arthritis in my hands, and this makes it much easier for me to make bows because it holds everything for me. So I'm going to start with my black and white striped ribbon. I want to measure my tail at 8 inches, pinch, and then I'm going to come down between the two large dowel rods. Now this ribbon is only nice on one side, so as I come through I'm going to twist so that the nice side of my ribbon is facing down. So on your tails you want the nice side to face up, but as you go to make your bows, you need to have that nice side of your ribbon facing down. So I'm going to measure my first loop here at 5 inches, and I'm going to do 3 loops on either side at 5 inches. Once you have your loops in, measure out your tail at 8 inches and trim. Now we're going to go to this beautiful 2.5 inch heart ribbon that you can get from Dollar Tree. Again, I'm going to measure my tails at 8 inches and pinch. As you come through, again, you want to twist because this ribbon is only nice on one side. And I'm going to be measuring my loops at 4 inches, and I will do 2 loops on either side at 4 inches. That's another thing that I like about working with the Easy Bow Maker is I can go in and play with and adjust my bow and make sure that it's looking the way that I want it to look. Now I'm going to go with the 1.5 inch white ribbon. Again, I'm going to measure my tails at 8 inches, pinch, and twist as I come through. On this one, I'm also going to measure my loops at 4 inches, and I'm going to do 1 loop on either side. I think that is looking so cute. And now I'm going to go with this small ribbon. And again, I'm going to measure my tails at 8 inches. And with this one, I'm going to do loops at 3 inches, and I'm going to do 2 loops on either side. And now I'm going to just cut 2 pieces here at about 6 inches. Then I'm just going to lay those down in the center, kind of like a crisscross. Okay, then you take 1 full length pipe cleaner, you're going to slide it down underneath all the way until you get next to your 2 dowel rods here. You want to lift it up. Make sure you're in the middle. Pull it together and lift out. This will help you keep it stacked properly. Then take those, wrap it around the front there and pull it to the back. Pull nice and snug and give it a good twist or 2. These pipe cleaners aren't going to be long enough for me to attach my bow to my wreath, so I'm going to add another pipe cleaner. Just lay it in the center, give it a twist or 2, and then take 1 short one and wrap it around a long one. You want to do that to both sides. That way you'll have plenty of pipe cleaner to attach it to your wreath. I'm going to put my bow right up here at the top, kind of kitty corner on my sign. And then I'm going to spread out my tails so they kind of go over across the top and then down the side. And to attach your bow, you just take your pipe cleaners, separate your deco mesh until you get down to the wire frame in the back and attach it to the wire frame. Again, you can attach it wherever you need to on the wire frame to get your bow to sit the way that you like. Now once I get my bow on, I'll do my final adjusting and I will cut my tails. I never really know how long I want my tails until I get it on and I see how they lay around my sign. I have my bow on and I'm really happy with it. As you can see, I kind of pulled the tails away so that you can easily read everything on the sign. Now the last thing that I want to do to the bow here is I have one of these small red glitter table scatter that you can get from Dollar Tree. They come in a package of like 24. And I just want to glue this right into the center of my bow like that so it'll hide that white pipe cleaner. I think that looks really cute. I'm also going to be adding some of these really pretty Valentine's Day picks I found at Dollar Tree. They're just calling them decor. And they have some like this that have the open heart and they have some that just have the puffy hearts. So you have these 2 picks. So I have 2 here with one of the open hearts and then I have 3 with just the poofy hearts. Now I like these because they do come with an alligator clip on the bottom, though I'm not going to be using that this time. But I'm going to be gluing these in permanently. So I'm going to take that off. I don't need a stem that long. I only want, you know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches of a stem. Just use my wire cutters. Take a couple times because you're cutting through a couple different layers there. So that way I just have a short stem. That will help me glue it into the deco mesh. And then you just want to play with your hearts and just kind of adjust them to get them to look the way that you want them to. I think that looks really pretty. And then you can work with your placement first. Just kind of stick them in around the wreath until you find where you really do like them. So I like that there. And then to glue these in, just add a good amount of hot glue here at the stem. And then nestle them down inside the deco mesh. Make sure they get good contact. And I like them because they do bend, so if you need to bend them back a little bit, go for it. I think that looks really pretty. So in addition to the 5 picks that I have to add to the wreath, I'm also going to be adding some white vase filler, and I have a couple different sizes in here, but I'm going to place my picks first and then I'll go through and fill in with the vase filler. And here you go, we're all finished. I'm really pleased with the end result. I love that colorful background. I did end up going ahead and using 6 of the red glitter picks instead of 5. I really do love this sign. I think it really sets off the wreath. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's collection of Valentine's Day wreaths. This is a perfect way to get those juices flowing and to get started into Valentine Day crafting. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to see you. If you made it all the way to the end, let me know which wreath was your favorite and leave me a bright pink heart. If you enjoy craft tutorials and hauls, you're going to want to check out these other videos. Thanks so much for taking the time to spend with me today. Have a great day, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.